The Co-City project is a project financed under the UIA initiative. Urban Innovative Action is a European initiative with the aim of supporting innovative projects in the European cities. We participate to this initiative that co-financed our project, which is called Co-City. In a nutshell, the idea of the project is that we have public spaces and public building abandoned or underused or in critical situation, and that we can, and this is a critical issue in terms of the urban crisis, I would say, and a possible answer to this issue is to renovate, to take care of this public space via pact of collaboration between the city administration and the citizens' organization, both formal and informal. This pact of collaboration is really a formal juridical tool, an innovative one in terms of what the public administration traditionally operate in the public sphere, because it tends to put public administration and the organization really on the same plan, around the same table, sharing and collaborating the whole process. Well, the case study is concentrated of one of the some 50 pact of collaboration we put in place via the Co-City project. This was the building at the center of our case study some 3 years ago. Before the project, an abandoned industrial building within the urban context. And we decided that here there was a potential in order to start to unlock an urban potential via this project. The project is Co-City, and Co stands for collaboration and stands for commons, meaning the urban commons is a concept, a juridical, theoretical concept, which is a bit different from the idea of public property. A common is a if you know, I mean, I'm an architect, but from a juridical point of view, I can define it as a public good that implies the involvement of inhabitants in order to take care, to manage this public good in the public interest. The very first step was from our side, from the side of the city. I'm an officer of the city of Turin, project manager of this project. The very first step, it was a public call in order to receive proposals from citizens' organization. And we received a lot of proposals. We began a very long period of what we call a co-design process with very different subjects coming from the city, small organizations, small groups of citizens, very established national NGOs, very different subject, all interested in designing a new face and new functions for this public space. All this very long process leads to the refurbishment, to the renewal of the building. One important thing we did during this project is that we didn't give money due to the association. We give support in terms of renewing the buildings by projecting its renewal from the side of our offices, providing equipment and providing all kind of support that can help the association to establish new ideas, new function for this place. It's a very simple but very hybrid space. It is in a way, as you can see, is a building without windows, or if you prefer, is a square with a roof. I mean, it's a very hybrid space. It's a public space, easily accessible from the street, but it is within an old industrial building. The only facilities is this container, sort of, you see on the left, which is a toilet facility. Otherwise, is a completely open space, as you can see in these images. As you can see around, it is really an industrial building within a very dense urban context, made of building houses, and it's located in the historical neighborhood of Borgo San Paolo, which is an historical industrial neighborhood, developed end of the 18th century, beginning of the 19th century. We arrived to, after all this long process of co-designing, to the opening and to the naming of this place. As you can see, this is the poster of the opening, which, as you can see, took place on the 15th of September. With the association, we also developed the idea of the name of the place, which is simply the address. Cumiana 15 means Cumiana Street number 15. So we arrived, as I said, to the opening of the place. These are the preparation of the opening. As you can, this photo is interesting because it gives you at the same time the scale of the place and the fact that is located in a very dense and consolidated urban context. We provide these red chairs in order to organize public events in this place, and these are prepared for the opening. This is the evening of the opening with people, and afterwards the signing of the pact. As I told you, there's a pact which is properly signed, an official act of the city, between the city and 4 organizations, different between them. We have here one representative of Ideificio Torinese, which is a small but very smart association made of university students. Another small association, which is called Bloomington, which is devoted to cultural and digital innovation. And then one association of skaters, and a big association, a big national, the local branch of a big organization. The acronym is UISP, which is a big organization devoted to culture and sport in the Italian context. So very different subject with a very smart and interesting idea that we are now trying to develop a number of initiatives of things, of very different initiative we can do in this kind of place. The governance of the whole thing is quite simple, but very innovative from our point of view. We have a sort of control room in which are represented both the public administration and the association, and an active group of small operational staff in charge of all the thing. The thing to be said is that one of the idea of the management of urban commons that is always very open. So the aim is not to remain for association and the municipality, but to extend this partnership to involve many other subjects. And actually, we did some open days in order to present this place. And we have quite a number of subjects of local organization that want our group, let's say. This is the very first evening in which a very famous film was screened, and with musicians that online provide the soundtrack. The day after, a couple of days after, as I said, the Association of Skaters, I don't know if you can see the image, there are a group of children, guys that are doing skating in this place. This is just to have, an idea of 2 very different things you can do in this kind of place, and the fact that it's open to many other ideas. That's the story in a nutshell. The idea of having a building in hybrid place, a very hybrid place, which is not properly a building, is not properly traditional public space. I think that this situation opens to new idea, both from the side of the possibility of the place, of the material assets, and on the side of the governance. As you can imagine, there are some critical issues. A very first and simple one, which is a place easily used in spring and summer, a bit more critical issue in autumn and winter when it's cold. But there are tools to cope with this issue.
As Gianni said, I'm Loredana, and I work with them more from the technical and architectural issues related with the function of this building. As he said, the function is very open, and people can use this space for different type of activities, from sport to public meetings, for cinema, and for study, like a classroom for study. And so this is a very important thing, especially now where we are forced to keep distance from the other, and where open spaces are more indicated for public meetings. But the two things we have to approach about this building are flexibility of the space and all the issue related with safety and architectural rules. So the flexibility is divided in two main issues. Is flexibility by law and flexibility by use. So because the law related with the use of architectural spaces are very strict, so we have to find a way to make this place usable for people for different use without having problem with safety. And this is the first issues.
Now I will tell you something about our story and the path that we follow to arrive at this moment to join this project. We were born at the beginning of 2016 with the mission to give a new and innovative impact on the association of our territory. For this reason, we decided to move in the non-profit sector with the aim of incubating ideas coming from youth and allow them to express youngs and allow them to express their skills. To reach our goals, we created a place for young people to meet up, and we support the participation and the engagement of different groups in the daily life of our association. We love define Edificio Torinese as a melting pot of relationships, because another important reason why our association exists is to create, motivate, and support relationships that I think that are the basement of all the associations in the world. To sum up all this reason, we created a place where people can study. For example, university students, they can study for their exams and also confront themselves with other students and improve ideas and education. In the past, we learned another things very important for us. We learned that the social and cultural integration in the territory where we were established was very important, and this is why we pushed on the involvement of people of the territory to all of this project and events. We organized in the past a lot of events, debates, meetings, and any other activities, because we've noticed that there was a high demand of this, and they could be a very moment to participate for the territory. And the moment, the feature is an informal place where workers, entrepreneurs, students, and several types of social groups can interact, get to know each other, and grow from each other's experience. We achieved to create a mechanism that gives young people the self-confidence and the capability to increase, to know how, in order to put them and put their ideas on the market, for example. We have started from an open place for everyone, where people could feel part of a common project, where they could find not only a peaceful place to study, but also the opportunity to always meet new and different people. We have built a creative place that support people to participate and create a new associative and entrepreneurial institution, and also to very important things to me, to retain people in Turin, that is, and in the territory, through the insertion of guys in a network. That is a very important thing, because a lot of young people at the moment are going away in other countries, and we have to retain them in the territory. and this is one of our aims. In our opinion, this approach goes in the same direction taken by the administration, with the aim of transforming Turin in a university city. From 2016, we grew up and trying to build a team with different partners like the university and the city's administration. But honestly, the first approach hasn't been easy because the management cost of restoring and maintaining a public space were too high. So we decided to start from private, paying a loan from every month that was cheaper than renovate a public one. After some years, we started to look for new challenges. At first, we started a collaboration with City 2 years ago, and thanks to that, we moved to a building under public grant. After that, last year, our partner WISP, UISP, one of the most important sportive associations in Italy, invited us to join a new project called Co-City, and now we know that it's called Comune 15. That was a co-planning project with the City of Turin and other 3 applicants. And it is based in a former Lancia plant in Turin. Lancia is one of the SCA brands now. It's a site where everyone could imagine an experiment, a place where ideas and groups are assembled, and also a simple meeting place. Today, there are 4 associations involved in this project. We are one of these. We are focused on university and work. We are all the 4 participants are very different, and this is the first difficult challenge, because arises from these 2 essential requirements. The first is to make coexist the different visions of the proponents. WISP and the longboard crew and other of the proponents are linked to sports. Blooming team is linked to smart community, and we are linked to university. And the second requirement is to give a clear identity and the defined personality to this new place. These double primary requirements have imposed us to find a name that was clear, that could not reflect badly on any of the proponents, and that could give a vocation to the structure, making it perceived as something new and useful, but not difficult to understand for people. Thanks to a long work of mutual knowledge and sharing, we have managed to bring together values and expectations. Now we are looking to this project, Comune 15, as a house capable of hosting different themes and contents like integration, quality of life, education, sport, relationships between people of all ages. We are looking to it as an engine and an innovation laboratory with eyes fixed on the future, but also to the past, because we have not to forget that space was, but we have to look at the future through a space where we can do experiment, imagine something different, and where we can see aggregation of people. That is the very important thing.